Moxie, and I finally have one. I'm going to let you have the wireless.
Oh, I thought we were going to sit on the front of the stage and share it.
Do you want to pull up a chair?
Oh, yes, please. I'm exhausted. Oh, we have a toaster. Just a little piece of jewelry, I think, isn't it? Look, I got dressed in honor.
And I went upstairs and changed clothes.
Yeah, thanks. My room is overheating. It's about 86 degrees, so this poor little dried flower was dying. And so was I.
I'm going to sit here and you're going to sit there. Is that comfortable?
It's very comfortable for me.
Isn't she lovely? Have you had a chance to speak to her?
They haven't had a chance to get away from me, have you? And you thought it was your lucky night tonight? No.
Well, Katy, I've never interviewed anyone before, ever. You're my first.
Really?
Yeah. Now, she told me earlier that a lot of the things on the internet are not true about her. Is that right?
Absolutely. Well, virtually nothing. I've had 5 marriages and I have no alimony.
Yeah.
So, wherever those 5 men that I've married are, including Rocky Horror, darling.
Oh, dear.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
They're all out there somewhere.
We're just friends. We were never married. Those rumors are not true.
We did it for publicity, didn't we, darling? We were so desperate.
Desperate, absolutely desperate. I'm always desperate for publicity. Why do you think I'm here tonight?
Well,
Now, so I looked up some questions online. The first one for an interview is, if you get the job, what will you do?
well, first of all, I would have a facelift. Because if I get the job playing Joe Grant at the age I'm at now, we're all in big trouble.
Darling, you do not need a facelift at
You're
all.
supposed to be traveling in time and space and getting younger.
Oh, yes.
I would reverse the polarity of that one.
Well, you look fabulous.
Well, so do you, darling.
The other question that I got that's actually a job interview question that I found on the internet is, what is your spirit animal?
I think probably, if you look at my face, I think it could possibly... I'm doing well. I should think possibly be, I don't know.
She was relaxing in her room.
I was. I think if you look at me, it could possibly be the wide-mouthed frog.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you know the story of the wide-mouthed frog?
You can. Go on, okay. Now, actually, can I just tell you a quickly true story?
Yes, yes.
Which is why I think of, every time, so many stories, I'm scared of them. Remind me to tell you one short-sighted story before I go.
Okay, all right.
Love your ring, darling.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway.
It's a mutual admiration society up here.
When I was doing There's a Girl in My Suit, I went on to do a matinee. Now, a lot of people in the theatre think that they're watching telly, so they forget that you can hear them. You know, and they do, and they go, oh no, did you see what she did? You know, and she nudges her friend, and you can eat, and I go, oh, look at her. Anyway, so this goes on, right? Anyway, so I walk on in There's a Girl in My Suit with my massive platform shoes with huge bunches of cherries on the front. So subtle. And I've said my first line, and a woman, obviously in the front row, I could hear her nudge her friend. She said, "Here, hasn't she got a big mouth?" So basically, without even having to tell, I spent the rest of the piece talking like this. I do.
You know, darling, you have fabulous lips.
They're my own.
Yeah, you know, I don't have any lips, so I do that old Joan Crawford smear, you know, where you make lips from liplessness, where you just draw the lipstick as high and low as you can go.
Well, if I did that, this will take me to the story. I have to tell you, I have so many, the play that I wrote.
Yes, yes.
Has a lot to do with vision. And I actually, where am I? Anyway, I was doing a play with a lovely actor called Martin Shaw, who you may may or may not know over here, who was devastatingly, you know, women just adored this man. I mean, you could be on stage with him, and it didn't matter. I even took my top off in this particular play, and nobody even noticed. You know? Anyway, so we went to this big opening night where all the press were going to be, and so on and so forth. And I got outside the building, and I was just about to go in, and I thought, I just need to check, you know, the corners of the mouth to see the lip gloss hasn't collected. And as I went out the door, this, you know, the stage, this, the theatre, I really have had a long day. Anyway, and as I go out, right, this sort of gust of wind goes like, boom, and everything in the gutter attached itself to my lips. I mean, you know, leaves, old dog ends, you know, a dog end's a cigarette, darling, in case you were thinking of something really ghastly. No, there's a, anyway, which is not quite, I just exaggerated that because it's funny, you know. Anyway, so I get to the restaurant and I think, well, I didn't have a mirror, I hadn't put anything in my bag, I was so nervous after this opening night. And I go into the ladies' room, and there wasn't a mirror in sight, right? I'm looking around, you know how most mirrors are up here, aren't they?
You mean down here?
From where you are, darling, I spend my life like this. Anyway.
You can ride on my shoulders anytime.
Oh, thank you, darling. That'll be a look.
Who rules Barter Town?
I look like very strange extensions. Anyway. So I look and I think, well, wait a minute, I have a quick check, because I have what they call a collector's mouth. This happens when you have a big mouth. You know, so I have a cappuccino and I look like a rabid dog with a So I thought, well, I'll just check my mouth in the taps, that'll do. Well, I took one look, and you know what we look like. Have you ever seen your reflection in a tap? Really? Don't. And so, I know in the end, I gave up. And as I walked out of the ladies' room, I saw, oh, darling. And as I walked out of the ladies' room, I saw this one, I thought, oh, thank you, a mirror. So I go up, right, and I'm like this. I thought, that's funny, I'm not doing what I'm doing. So I go a little closer. I'm nose to nose with somebody who, it was actually not a mirror, it was an archway. And there was this person sitting trying to eat a spoonful of avocado with my face right there.
Thank you for that breath mint earlier, by the way.
So I said, you know, what did you say? So I said, I'm terribly sorry, I thought you were me. Well, but wait, that's not it.
It happens to time travelers all the time.
So, anyway, I'm trying not to look like I'm embarrassed, but everybody has witnessed this. And I'm, you know, quietly perspiring underneath my bangs. And so I go and sit down, and everybody's laughing, and they said, this was in the late 80s. And they said, never mind, let's drink a toast to Katy's myopic, you know, blah, blah, blah. I lifted up a glass, and I went, thank you. And as I did that, I felt something go up my nostril. Oh, yes. And I didn't quite know, so as I pulled it, I realized I picked up a prawn cocktail. I swear on my honor this is true. It was terribly trendy back then to put the prawn on the side of the glass of the prawn cocktail. Well, of course, it went up my nose. I know this is, but it's all true. And as I pulled the glass away, the prawn stayed.
I bet you were shell-shocked.
I don't count the raw prawn with me, sweetie. after that, what do you do? I mean, there is no way to go from there. I mean, I was beyond embarrassed.
Well, there's something I really want to ask you about tonight. Has anyone heard of the play Jezebel and Me that Katy did at the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh? Do you want a fan, darling?
Yes, darling. Just one fan would be nice.
I know the feeling. If we flap hard enough, we'll take off.
Yes, I think I'll be home in London now. It's got cheap flights.
So, Jezebel and Me, I was reading about this. Has anyone heard of this play that Katy did at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival? What year was that?
Oh gosh, I did it right across Australia. Poor Betty is going, you know, and where are we going now?
She played all of the roles, and it was about Betty Davis.
It's a true story.
Yeah, true story.
And it's about when Betty Davis, it was during a time when her daughter had just written this dreadful reveal role.
Yes.
BD. And there was a hotel restaurant in New York, and she liked to live in hotels. And she was in Connecticut, and she was with a friend of hers. And so, thank you, darling. And she was with a friend of hers. Anyway, this friend was going away. Betty did not like to be alone. So they are invited to this woman's house. This friend knew this woman called Elizabeth Fuller, who actually wrote the play. And they go to the house for a barbecue. And of course, the next day, Betty rings up and says, thank you. And she said, oh, Miss Davis, I do hope the chicken was okay. And Betty says, that chicken was so raw, it nearly pecked me. That's a great line. Anyway, she asked if she could go and stay for just maybe 1 or 2 nighs. Well, it ends up, Betty Davis moves in for over a month. The husband leaves. The 4-year-old child, Christopher, starts to talk like Betty Davis. Goddamn the goddamn thing, a lot of that going on. And Elizabeth is this huge fan, so I played the African-American evangelist, I played the Irish grandmother, I played the 4-year-old Christopher, I played Betty. And
there was a review that I read that said that you were one of Britain's great actresses.
Yeah, well, I wrote that.
Can you write me some reviews?
But it was an extraordinary piece. And it ended up after, you know, I took it right across the outback of Australia, where I was playing places where people would drive 3 to 4 hours. And there was women there who were coming up to me and saying, I've never seen a play on stage before. No, we've had the Irish dancing, and we had the Russian circus, but we've never had a little lady playing lots of people before. And it was an amazing experience. And then I brought it to the Edinburgh Festival and Hampstead. And then on the very last day, I think, of the tour, and I'm sort of standing in the mirror in the ladies' toilet, which was my dressing room. So people coming in front, you know, there'd be this whole flushing thing as they came out of one play, and I'm standing. And nobody ever came near this corner of the ladies' room. It was really weird. Betty had really taken it over. And I think it was on my very last performance, and I've been doing this for over a year, and Betty just stood there and she said, that's it. And that was the end of it. It was an incredible experience. And
I hate to cut this short, but we'll end it on that note. That was just fabulous. Thank you so much. Everybody give Katy Magus such a round of applause.
That's your first interview, darling. I sincerely hope it won't be your last, because you're wonderful.